hello, and welcome to Pop and Heat, episode 28. I'm Kier.
And I'm Leash, and welcome to your new favorite wrestling podcast.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
Here we are, episode 28. Hard to come up with a reason why this would be special.
Yeah, we're running out of ways to make it a cool number. But, like I say, everyone is an accomplishment.
That's it. We're just happy to still be here.
Yeah, it's an accomplishment for us to find the time to do any of our hobbies. So,
Yeah, that's the thing. We've been pretty good with keeping up with our social media, but you may have noticed we've been delayed a little bit between episode 27 and 28. Such is life.
Cold and flu, though. That's what that was.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the whole house got sick last week, and podcasting was just not going to happen.
Yeah, we were pretty sick, but we are coming through it now. Although it is taking a while for our congestion to go away, but we feel better.
Yeah, if we're a bit sniffly, we apologize.
I apologize for my raspy voice. Anyways, this week we're going to do just kind of a little lead up to Night of Champions, which is on Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're just going to kind of talk about storylines that led into it and talk about our predictions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's roll right into it.
Yep.
Okay, so first on the docket, on SmackDown, we had a match that was R-Truth versus John Cena. That ends kind of without a clear finish because I guess clear, unclear. John Cena tries to leave once R-Truth gets it should be calling him Ron Killings, I guess. He's not R-Truth anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's Ron Killings anymore either. I've heard they're flopping around, but yeah, we know who we're talking about.
Okay, anyway.
He who follows us on TikTok.
Follows us on TikTok. Anyways, as he gets the upper hand, John Cena decides, I don't want to participate in this, tries to leave the ring with his title belt. As he's walking out, Ron Killings / R-Truth goes to attack him down the aisle. John Cena lays him out and leaves him lying in the aisle. Mm-hmm. And then we get a entrant, CM Punk.
Yes, ma'am.
He comes out, his music hits, a big brawl between him and Cena.
Big pop.
Yeah, it is a big pop. Yeah, it is a big pop for him.
Yep.
Cena puts him through a table and has his own pipe bomb moment.
Yeah, so the Cena Truth / Killings encounter was fairly brief, all sort of a setup for this Cena pipe bomb, which was done, crazily similar to the CM Punk's pipe bomb from years ago. Obviously, all purposely done. I loved all of this. I thought it was really good. I thought Cena's kind of humor throughout it all was really good. It was enjoyable. The one thing that did sort of bother me was the idea that CM Punk would lay as though he was, like on his deathbed for 8 minutes in the middle of that table while Cena did this. Like, show me any other match that involves a table where any superstar is out for that long because of going through the table. Like, it's just stuff like that gets to me. I mean, I know we're following a script, but
it's inconsistent, right? Because there are like finishing moves and crazy moments where the people just stand right up and keep going, and you're like, how did he survive that? And then CM Punk gets thrown through one measly table and he's dead for 8 minutes.
So. Yeah, it's the same with like those encounters on the road to the PLEs, right? Like the guy will hit him with a finishing move. Like, for instance, Cody hit Cena with Crossroads a couple of times on the way to WrestleMania and left Cena like he was dead in the ring. But didn't work at Mania, did it?
No. Yeah, so he has that moment, and this is all leading up to their undisputed championship match.
Yep.
Which is this weekend.
Coming up.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So Cena mocks him and Punk lays out. Now, interestingly enough, so we'll get into our predictions for this match, but I just want to say, typically we predict that, just of note, typically we predict that the person that seems to quote unquote be losing leading up to the match is the person that wins the match.
Right. if you're implying that because Punk was laid out on the table that he's going to win at Night of Champions, I think it's safe to say that's not correct.
Yeah, no. I
And
was implying the opposite, that in this case, that doesn't seem to work.
exactly. Right. So here's the thing though. What is going on with CM Punk? Like you brought him back to tremendous fanfare. You've got the fans just going crazy for him on every episode, Raw or SmackDown. They're chanting his name. It's been a year and a half of consistent heartbreak for CM Punk.
Yeah.
The one thing that he got was a main event for WrestleMania, but it was
quotes.
night one.
Air quotes.
And you've given him nothing. Like he hasn't won anything of any kind of substantial nature. I mean, he did seem to get the better of Drew through that encounter, but for what? There's no title, no nothing.
Yeah.
So, here we go, putting Punk back into another big storyline, fighting for a title, and he's not going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we definitely know this isn't John Cena's time yet. We still have a lot left of him for the year, and certainly his situation needs to end with Cody Rhodes. So I don't think this is going anywhere. It is interesting, and I think the callback to the pipe bomb moment on John Cena's farewell tour gives longtime fans a callback to the classic stuff they want to see, and I think that's the point of this, is maybe just like fans loved that moment when it happened. It was super exciting. We're just going to do a little tribute to that, have them fight a match. You kind of get what you want, and then John Cena can be on his way, continuing on with his storyline.
Yeah, I mean, it just sort of occurred to me that, Cena's like stealing all the biggest moments of wrestling history.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan's heel turn, CM Punk's pipe bomb. He's just like taking them for himself now.
Yeah.
It's like, I will have these moments for my own.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, it's not time for him to lose that belt yet.
No.
As much as it sucks for CM Punk, it is not his time to win that belt. When that time is going to come, I don't know. It can't be that long from now, though. He's not getting any younger.
Yeah.
I mean, he and Cena aren't that different in age, maybe a year or two.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think. Yeah, so, I mean, all of that to say, you heard it here. Our prediction is that John Cena will win this match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest one to predict for the whole night.
I would think.
This is actually a tough group of predictions for this event for me.
Next, on SmackDown, our lead up was the Alexa Bliss Asuka Queen of the Ring semi-final. So Alexa hesitated, missed a twisted bliss, and Asuka capitalized on that and finished her off to win the Queen of the Ring final, putting her heading over to Saudi Arabia. We were not super pleased about this. We are kind of diehard Alexa Bliss fans, and I don't know. I'll let you kind of get into a little bit of, what we're upset about with Alexa Bliss's trajectory overall. But I just want to note before we get into that, just Asuka, she just came back. I know a lot of people really like her, but I have no interest in the whole situation. And them pushing her through in bigger storylines like this is frustrating to me because I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, two matches back, and you're in the Queen of the Ring final.
Yeah.
Come on. Now, I realize there's a ton of Asuka fans out there. People love this woman. They think she's amazing. Personally, I don't think she's in the top 5 wrestlers in the women's division. I don't see her doing anything more impressive than Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria. I mean, the list goes on. She is not that good. Stephanie Vaquer, it's just silly. And at this point, Liv Morgan, I think, is better. Io Sky. Asuka is not what she apparently used to be.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, unless she's just hiding a bunch to, show us that Queen of the Ring. I'm not seeing it. And this finishing move of hers, which is basically just like jumping and hitting her opponent with her ass, Like, I don't understand how that could be considered anything that would really take someone
No.
out. And, you know, she's a little bit odd for me. The way I was describing it to
Yeah.
you was she's like a Grand Theft Auto character standing still, or she's just always like
Wobbling around.
moving around. Like, stand still, for crying out loud. Like, it's weird. It's too much. And I know it's all a character thing, but for me, it falls flat, and it certainly falls flat when they give her, when they put her over on Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, so Alexa Bliss, get into that because that's something that I don't understand.
Right. You brought her back to, amazing ovation, and every time she comes out, there's big pop for her. Clearly, the audience is into Alexa Bliss. You've done nothing with her. You let her qualify for Money in the Bank and Elimination Chamber, had her lose both. You've got this Wyatt Six thing just kind of sitting on the doorstep for everyone, and we all know that it needs to happen, and you're doing nothing with it. Just continual disappointment and confusion around this obvious star. Now, again, we talk about it all the time. There's a lot of star power. It's hard to make choices. It's not hard here.
Yeah.
Like, why would you pick Asuka for anything over Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
And I understand if it's, the idea of not wanting to push big stars to mid-level, championships. And that's what the King and Queen of the Ring is. It's not a big deal. But here we have Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Sorry to jump ahead, but I mean, that's the men's main event. Like,
Yeah.
don't tell me this can't be for big names. Why did Alexa Bliss have to lose to someone who's been gone for a year in her second match back?
Yep.
No sense there. No sense at all.
I don't get it either. And I think that the Wyatt Six situation is, a big thing as well. Like, why aren't they doing that? Like, she's there. It's just so rife with, possibility, and they're just letting it die. This was such a huge thing last year that people were so amped up about. It's part of what really drove a lot of my interest in the beginning in WWE as I started watching it with you. This was this whole big exciting thing around the Wyatt Six. When Alexa Bliss was coming back, there was so much speculation that she would be a part of it, and I don't know what they're waiting for. What they're waiting for is going to end up being people losing interest in that ever being a thing. People are going to forget that they were excited about it, and then people aren't going to care when it happens.
They probably already have.
Yeah.
I mean, to a degree, they've blown it with both.
Yeah.
The not return, but the arrival of the Wyatt Six and the return of Alexa Bliss, both met with tremendous excitement and both blown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just blown. And I'm not saying it's too late, obviously, but you've definitely missed on some of what the potential was. And you started doing something with the Wyatt Six in the tag team division like a month or two ago, and that was kind of exciting for a minute. And then you let that go and let everybody forget about that too, because you got to focus on the PLE you've got going every 4 weeks that you need to try and ramp up some sort of relevancy for, like it's too much. I mean, maybe they need a Wednesday night program to try and round this stuff out. Like, I mean, maybe that's the answer. 2 shows a week isn't enough.
Yeah. They have too many players in there to do enough with all of them on 2 nights a week.
I mean, you can't sustain the NHL on 2 games a week, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of what we're getting to. You've got this professional sporting league that you just can't sustain with 2 nights a week.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. All right, we have to move on from that, but it was something we were feeling pretty passionate about.
Yeah, you can probably tell I'm pretty fired up.
So then on Raw, we had the other semifinal for Queen of the Ring, which was Roxanne Perez versus Jade Cargill. Roxanne Perez was kind of targeting Jade Cargill's injured leg, but that really did her no good. Jade Cargill is a monster, the literal action figure.
Mm-hmm.
She took over and won that match. So it will be now Queen of the Ring, Jade Cargill, and Asuka in Saudi Arabia on Saturday.
Now, I was worried that they were going to throw this to Roxanne.
Yeah, I feel like you would have. Well, yeah, I was gonna say you would have liked that less. Of course you would have. You love Jade Cargill. You think she's great. So,
How
but
can you not?
I mean, if this was Asuka and Roxanne Perez, we'd definitely have a much bigger problem here. But
Yeah, I mean, from a star power standpoint,
yeah,
in our opinion, I think it seemed like they were really, really amping up Roxanne's star power. You
they
know,
have
like
been pushing
they're
her.
giving
Yeah,
her a lot. So I thought they might just let her beat Jade, and for me, that just would be all kinds of craziness. They did make the match seem, pretty decent. You've got this David and Goliath sort of situation.
yep,
But ultimately, the right thing happened here, and Jade got the win. I hope the same thing happens at Queen of the Ring.
yeah. That's my prediction. I think Jade Cargill will win.
The craziness of what they do
Yeah.
leaves nothing certain.
I know. Just like I had that, I'm like, Jade Cargill will win. That's my prediction. And then in the back of my brain, I'm like, well, I don't know. WWE might put Asuka in there, but I'm still gonna go Jade Cargill.
How's
That's what I'm
Asuka
go
going to
with.
take out Jade Cargill with a butt whip?
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It has to be Jade Cargill. It has to.
I mean, yeah, she should throw her around like a rag doll. The only, excuse me, the only issue that I see with Jade, from a star power standpoint, is she lacks a bit of fluidity in her movement at times. She can be a bit rigid, but she's big.
Yeah.
It's hard to move like the little ones do. But I think I'll take it, for
Yeah.
everything else that comes with her. And she's getting better from a character standpoint too. I'm hoping that Jade gets the W here.
Yeah. Yep. That's where we're at. So Jade Cargill over Asuka is our prediction on that. Next, SmackDown match. We had Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn for a King of the Ring semi-final. I don't think there was any question here.
No, I mean, we talk about Randy Orton a lot. We're big Randy Orton fans, and in our opinion, he seems like one of the only like viable people to essentially be able to take anyone.
If
Like,
Randy's losing a match, I'm like, something fishy's happening. There's no way. He's beating every person alive.
you do think he's a good seller though, because you're always worried that he's
That's
like
true.
about to die.
He's been better about that though lately. I feel
Yeah.
like I haven't been as worried about him
That's true.
lately.
That's true. He's been a little more dominant in some of his more
Yeah.
recent matches.
Last year there was a lot of back issues happening during matches, and I was terrified for him all the time.
Yeah. I to your point, I don't think this was much to question. I think everybody knew he was going to make quick work of Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Sammy is that guy though that can sort of shock you when he goes up against the guy that's supposed to mop the floor with him, i.e. a
Yeah.
Gunther,
That's the point of Sami Zayn,
Yeah.
He's the everyman's wrestler. So
But although he made it look questionable at times, the obvious thing did end up happening. A beautiful RKO with Sammy on the run. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Randy's off to King of the Ring.
So Randy is off to King of the Ring. And then on Raw, we had the other King of the Ring semifinal, and that was Best Buddies Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso.
So this one was a little bit hard for me because of that sort of mid card status that I felt King of the Ring held. So I thought for some reason they may put Jay over because he's more of a mid card. But how do you do that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Cody's lost once in like 3 years.
Yeah.
So how do you? And I mean, his second loss can't be to Jey Uso.
Yeah.
It just can't be. So, in thinking back on it, it seemed silly that I would have questioned it at all. But, Cody obviously going to King of the Ring.
This was a good match, though. We did a TikTok that we kind of just recapped Raw, and we were saying like the match was really good. You were thinking like this is the best we'd ever seen Jey Uso wrestle, but he did use a lot of Cody's moves. Which one of the bigger complaints about Jey is that he doesn't have a huge catalog of moves that he uses. So, just to note, when we thought he was doing his best work, he was using all Cody Rhodes moves.
Well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's a testament to the fact that maybe he should borrow some other moves a little more often. And I mean, maybe not necessarily such signature moves, but like other moves that people just use, right? Like
Yeah.
do a pile driver here and there, or
Yeah.
not a pile driver. Sorry, they're not supposed to do those. I was thinking
No, don't
like
do pile drivers.
suplex
They're
kind of
dangerous.
things, do flying elbows. You could do DDTs here
Beef
and
up
there.
your resume, man.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, we know you can spear, super kick, and splash.
Yeah.
we
About
know
it.
you can do that, and you can do your little worm arm punch thing.
Your worm.
And now we
that
know
what
you
it's
can
called?
do. I don't know. I know you can do a crossroads, a Cody cutter, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
You have other capabilities. Let's see him.
he's got some skills. It was a good match, though.
Yeah.
All kidding aside, hats off to both. It was a hell of a match. But Cody, moving on.
Yeah.
So we got Cody Randy,
Which
the
is
King of the Ring.
great. I mean, I think that's going to be great. These guys are. Randy's such a monster. Cody's such a great wrestler. I am excited for that match.
Yeah, this one far less obvious, but again, I don't see Cody losing. I just can't see it. And what a nice thing to do when you took the title off of him, basically just because Cena wanted to retire.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, we're gonna have to give Cena the belt for a year. Don't worry, we'll give it back, but we'll also make you King of the Ring while he takes it. So like,
well,
all
King
right.
of the Ring gets a match at SummerSlam, right? So a title match at SummerSlam.
That's right.
I mean, this could be what brings Cody back around to Cena. So
this sort of gives us that answer we were looking for.
Well, we thought it would be Money in the Bank, and then it wasn't that. So
yeah,
this one could be the one.
And I had been saying sort of all year that I can't see Cena keeping the belt any less than up until SummerSlam.
Right. Yep.
I thought maybe longer. Survivor Series was kind of what I was thinking because that's November, but maybe it's SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Maybe Cena doesn't want to work into the winter.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but I am going Cody Rhodes here because I just don't. I don't know.
I'll be damned if I don't pick my boy.
Yeah.
American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's our prediction.
Yep. That thumbs up popped up by my head again. Do you see that?
Ooh, no, I didn't.
We still don't know what that means.
Yeah, and it doesn't come through in the recorded version for you guys. So that's just a little treat for us.
Some ghostly love.
Who's watching us out there? I'm so sorry. Okay. Still getting over that cold. Next, we had a SmackDown segment. Jacob Fatu rejects Solo Sikoa's manipulative claims of love and respect. That's what I wrote. I feel like I must have direct quoted that from something.
It sounds like
Jacob Fatu then challenged Solo Sikoa to a match for the U.S. Championship. And that's going to happen at Saudi Arabia Night of Champions.
Yeah. So, noteworthy. Fatu's face turn.
Yeah. So, I mean,
fully complete.
So JC Mateo comes out to help Solo Sikoa, and then Jimmy Uso comes out to even the odds. So we're definitely getting a whole babyface situation from the werewolf.
Yeah.
Odd.
I mean, we knew it because, I mean, that he was that, I call it the stone cold heel, right? Like that bad guy that the crowd just can't help but cheer for because they're so damn good.
The people,
He's
love
one of them, right? So they started chanting his name months back, and we just knew, okay, once they started handing him the mic, it was over. Like, you're going face for sure. And it's complete.
They really love him.
He's a face.
Yeah.
Going up against the heel Solo, who will inevitably have some interference because it's a street fight. So he'll have, his one member of his quasi bloodline left, JC.
Yeah.
So who's going to come help Fatu?
What do you think? What do you think's going to, who's going to help Fatu? Well, maybe Jimmy Uso.
I would think Jimmy seems like the most likely candidate.
I mean, they're throwing him into the mix here. On SmackDown they did. So I feel like they're kind of putting him up as that support system. So I think that's likely. Who do you think's going to win?
I like Fatu for sure. I think Fatu's going to keep the belt.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see a slight chance of JC getting involved and Solo taking the belt and that storyline continuing so Fatu can chase, right? They often like to give the heel the belt because people like to see the hero chase. Um, I think Fatu's going to keep it right now. I think that. Um, I do see this kind of union of Jimmy and Fatu as being something for when Roman comes back to have a bit of an established team for him as well, because
That's interesting.
generally has himself a faction, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. That's interesting. I do think also just with this, I kind of go both ways. I'm thinking about the whole face situation for him, and I'm like, well, they're just starting that. And he's still got the belt. Maybe they need to build that more before he was going to lose the belt. And I think that is what I'm going with. I think that he needs to hold on to that belt a little bit more to build his status in this new role before he loses it and starts that climb again. I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, and I think it's even possible that when they take it from him, it'll be to put him in those bigger picture
Yeah.
matches, kind of like what it seems they're gonna do with LA Knight. So,
Yes. Yeah. 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 All right. Well, that's it. We're going Jacob Fatu.
yep.
Jacob Fatu for the win. All right. Next, we had a little feud on Raw. Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, not a sanctioned match, but kind of turned into one.
Yeah, so they had that sprawl going on, chaotic fight that happened.
Raquel's pulling tables out from
Yeah,
under the
she
ring.
put Rhea through a table, and then Rhea storms backstage after all of this to Adam Pearce and demands a match. And he's all like, a street fight.
Yeah.
I'm in.
You missed a few details
I'm sorry.
in that. That's okay. I think they're noteworthy though. So
Go ahead.
Roxanne Perez came out to save Raquel from getting smashed through that
Ooh,
table
yeah,
by
I
Rhea.
did forget that.
Because Raquel was about to be the one to go through the table.
Yeah, Liv's not going to like this because they became little
That's
hugging buddies.
It's not
in the
necessarily
ring.
relevant to the Queen of the Ring storyline, but definitely I wanted to mention it because, yeah, Liv's going to be
I didn't
pissed.
note it because it wasn't relevant to Night of Champions specifically. So I forgot about it, but that is definitely of note because she was like avoiding her like the plague to be on Liv's side, and then they were like hugging in the ring. Liv is not going to be happy about this when she gets back.
Saves Raquel from going through the table, getting, Rhea distracted, allowing Raquel to grab her and put Rhea through the table.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're just
and
hugging
this
it
plays
out.
right into my storyline of maybe Liv is not actually real life injured and she needed time off, or there's some kind of storyline here where she comes back by surprise. These are all the things going through my head, okay? So, one plausible scenario, Roxanne Perez getting in there with Raquel, and Liv's going to come back by surprise. We think she's injured. She's going to show up and be like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. But I think there's more to Liv's injury than just a simple injury.
We'll see. Yeah, I
I went on a tirade there, but it's an exciting topic for me.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? If it's not right, nobody is going to make you feel weird for it. But if you're right, you get super bragging rights.
Yeah, I'm putting it all out there.
You gotta. It's great.
So at Night of Champions, we're going to have a street fight. Yeah. Raquel Rodriguez and Rhea Ripley. These two, like, physically are a good match. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez, not as high up there in the actual wrestling skills, but just from a viewing perspective, size wise and everything, they're a good matchup.
Yeah, I think Raquel's getting better. And I think with Rhea being as good as she is, she'll probably really help to make the match better.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say we'll see more of Roxanne Perez involvement in this match.
I would think, yeah.
With it being a street fight again, there's no disqualification. So why not? Right. So,
I think given that, I think maybe Raquel will win this.
I think that's the only way because I mean we know that Liv couldn't beat Rhea, so how the hell is Raquel gonna beat her when Raquel is no Liv?
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, with the help of Roxanne, there's a good chance because
Yeah.
I don't
No
really know
rules.
who would help Rhea right
Yeah.
now, right? She doesn't really have any allies right
It'll
now.
be slimy and breaking, moral code, but I think Raquel Rodriguez will win this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw out like you did a long shot prediction here.
Go for it.
I like where this is going. I think that Roxanne and Raquel are going to get close. I think Roxanne is going to help Raquel win this match. And that's going to be something that when Liv comes back and gets mad, Raquel's going to go, I don't know what you're so mad at. I did what you couldn't do.
Oh, yeah. That's how we get the breakup of Raquel and Liv.
And that's how we get a face turn for Liv.
Yes.
She's coming back to face.
Yeah.
I know this. She's too big a star. She's coming back. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential there. And I also think that there's potential for a similar scenario to what happened with Naomi and Bianca with the tag team championships.
Okay.
Where with Jade with Jade injured, Naomi just kind of came and took her belt.
Took over.
I think maybe Roxanne takes Liv's belt.
Yeah. I think that maybe they set the groundwork for that. It is a little repetitive if they do the exact same
Definitely.
thing. But WWE is not known for not being repetitive sometimes. So
No, but there's also the idea that because they did it before, it establishes that it's possible.
Exactly. Yeah, there's grounds for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I put it out there.
You did. Okay, next we have on Raw, we had a backstage segment, Karrion Kross taunting Sami Zayn for his loss in the semifinals. And there's a confrontation. Sami Zayn punches him in the face and challenges him. Does he challenge him?
Yeah.
Oh, he reveals in that moment. Sorry. He reveals he had already talked to Adam Pearce and there's a match set.
Yep.
For Night of Champions, which we didn't actually know was going to be at Night of Champions until I was reading the match card. We just knew they had a scheduled match.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that they're sending Sami to Saudi Arabia because he's pretty popular there. So
yeah. Oh yeah. They'll flip for him. Couple things about this. I thought it was hilarious that Karrion was just laughing like he's like he fell for it. This is exactly what I wanted.
yeah, and it is what he wants.
Yeah,
he gets to be at a PLE in a match.
He's just been egging everybody on backstage forever, trying to get somebody to want to fight.
Give me a match.
But what I felt was most noteworthy here was as soon as they showed him on camera, from backstage, you could hear the pop from the crowd out in the arena. And it's really speaking to the momentum that's building behind him. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're going to see a lot more from him over the next year or so. Karrion's a star. What he did at Mania generated so much traction for him. He's been talked about so much. And, all these little segments that he's getting, and they are little, they're getting a lot of attention and people are asking for more. I'm pretty sure we're going to get it. This is the start of that, I think.
Yeah.
And
well, he really presented the fighting against the machine thing, fighting back against the system, and people really like that. So
yeah, well, he voiced a lot of opinions around Logan Paul, and not necessarily him as a guy, but just sort of the process that he followed in joining the WWE. So anyways, it's been exciting and I'm stoked to see where it goes. I will say though that this building him into a bigger star just feeds the problem of not enough show to showcase all of this. I really think I'm onto something here with a Wednesday night program.
Yeah. Are you listening, WWE?
Yeah.
We need more. Also, though, I don't have a ton of time, so make it
I'm not sure we'll be able to watch it.
We can't recap that show, but we think it's a good idea for you.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's our Night of Champions. Oh, well, did we predict? We didn't predict a winner for that match. Sorry. Sami Zayn, Karrion Kross.
Yeah. I want to say Karrion Kross because I want that momentum to
No.
build, but it's Saudi Arabia and it's Sami
They're not
Zayn.
letting Sami lose in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I would say because of that, it'll be Sami Zayn, but I sure hope that doesn't slow Karrion's momentum.
No, I don't think it will. I think Karrion Kross is just happy to be in a PLE fight. He's in an event at a PLE, and that's good momentum for him, you know, after all of this craziness that's been going on.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
happy.
think it'll continue to build his star. So,
Yep. Congrats, Karrion.
well, I think we have a first segment to get into.
Let's do it. Top of the pop.
Top of the pop.
So I'm gonna throw out a couple.
Yeah, I know we didn't
because-
really have a definitive answer on this one, but we do have.
Well, we're not doing like full recaps on episodes
Yeah.
because it's more of a predictions for a PLE, you know. But
We have
what I will
notable
say,
mentions.
yeah, CM Punk, his pop is through the roof.
Yeah.
Initially it was bothering me that he was so beloved because I like other guys more and I want them to have the biggest pops.
Yeah.
But it's getting harder for me to truly believe anybody is more popular than him. And as this realization is coming to me week after week, I'm becoming a bigger CM Punk fan.
Yeah.
And not necessarily CM Punk as the wrestler, but CM Punk on the mic is fire.
Yeah, he is great on the mic,
I
for
just
sure.
love it.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's, certainly not the best in the world. He's not the worst, but
Not the worst in the world. That should be his new slogan.
Yeah. But you're not the best. At some point you may have been, but you are not anymore. But you might be one of the best with a mic in your hand. And, that for me is every bit as important.
That gets you on TV. So,
So I want to give you a shout out for that. But I also want to just once again mention Karrion Kross, the pop. And I think it's important because it was backstage.
It was noticeable for sure. Like it was not one that faded into the background.
Like I like this. I'm curious to see how the crowd pops for him at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Me too. Well, that'll take us into our next segment.
Yeah, it will.
You suck.
Hottest of the heat.
Hottest of the heat.
Oh yeah, you had some sustain.
I went a little longer. I kind of hesitated at the end, but
That's good.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't have this week?
What?
Is any discussion of post-match attack?
Yeah, because we didn't do full recaps, so I didn't have any. But we'll do it now. We'll do a post-match attack. Post-match attack.
Perfect.
Just so we can put our graphic in.
She loves it, folks. I had to throw it out there.
I'll put it in there. I think the people like it too. I think the viewers enjoy it.
I mean, how could they not?
Yeah.
You know who probably doesn't like it? Liars.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay, so hottest of the heat. I'm sorry to say this. She's your gal.
Yeah.
But I feel like Becky has the heat
I'm
right
happy to take it. It means she's doing well. She's doing her job.
Yeah, I feel like right now, from the heel perspective, it's harder to think of somebody that the crowd is more bought into.
Yeah. Get that heat, Bex.
Yeah.
Look, it's a struggle for her, okay, to get heat because she's beloved by the crowd. And, she struggled before, we know this, to become a heel. She's really working it this time and she's starting to get that heat quite a lot. And I'm proud of her.
Yeah, it's good. It's neat. it really starts to stand out how important it is for them to be hated when they're trying to be
Yeah.
hated, you know? And like, I've always kind of wondered, like, does it start to get to them? Like, and I think the answer is no.
No.
They love every second of it. And from what I hear, they love it more than being the face. Like, they find it a lot more fun to
Yeah.
be the bad guy. And, you know, in the Seth Rollins segment that we saw on Monday Night Raw, where he's going, you know, you guys are confusing me. You sing my song, you chant for CM Punk, you chant for OTC, you don't know what you want. And like, he's got them cheering for him, like, yeah, you're a heel, but we love you. And then he's just like, you guys are stupid, you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're trying to take any amount of love they still have for you and get rid of it.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you're the bad guy and they love you. But no, he wants to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I can respect that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's work in that.
I feel like it becomes very like clinical and calculating. Like it doesn't I don't know, but this is what I think it would start to feel like is like it's not emotional anymore. Like I don't care that they hate me or they love me. I just the result is what I want. I'm trying to get a specific result. And am I getting that result? And then I'll be happy with that. Doesn't matter if they're screaming profanities and yelling at me. I'm trying to get that heat. And so if I'm getting that heat, great. That's success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like anything else, you don't want to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, you're head first.
Yep. Yeah.
So, yeah, good on you, Beck.
I love it. Big time, Bex. We love ya. All right.
So, are you ready?
I'm ready for that last segment. Bring it home.
The social.
Social. It's a good one. We're incorporating some choreography.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really got into like some interpretive dance.
Yeah.
Wow. Singing.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can call that singing.
Yep. Some moves. We're incorporating moves.
Yeah.
Yep. It's good stuff. Okay. First of all, on the social, Rhea Ripley attacking fans for their bully mentality.
Yeah, good on you. And coming to, you know, the defense of one of her arch enemies at that. So high road there and big time respect. And this is real life stuff we're talking about here.
Yeah. So I guess Liv Morgan, when she had her injury, there was some people's, you know, celebrating it online. You know, people that are not fans of hers celebrating that she got injured. And Rhea Ripley took to her own social media to say, like, it is never okay to celebrate somebody getting physically injured. That's not what's supposed to happen here. And it is cruel for people to go out there and say this is great when somebody actually has a serious injury.
Yeah.
That was really nice. And, you know, I think that, you know, kayfabe situation, Rhea and Liv are not supposed to get along. So I liked that she still stuck her neck out and defended Liv in this situation, kind of disregarded that perception and just said, hey, I'm going to stand up for what's right regardless.
I don't even necessarily think it blows kayfabe. I think it's just a quality human being thing,
that's
right? Like,
you're right.
Even if it is like, yeah, I don't like her, but I don't celebrate terrible things. And, you know, as fans, you know, there are wrestlers that I don't like as much as others. I certainly don't celebrate when they have real life injuries.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it seems to me there's a network of people that are quite bored and just love to go out looking for, you know, shit to stir up on the internet.
Well, and this is not the only time Rhea Ripley has commented on it, because there was another note about she was interviewed and she was talking about how there was a time where she was becoming really anxious about wrestling. I think it was leading up to the Becky Lynch stuff when she was fighting Becky Lynch last year, I guess that was.
Yep.
And she was saying that she was having a lot of anxiety about her performance and a lot of stress. And I guess people were, for some reason, I don't know the full context, blaming Triple H for that or pushing a storyline that she wasn't ready for or something like that. And she snapped back basically saying like, no, he has nothing to do with me feeling that way. Like, that's not his fault. She was like, it's people, keyboard warriors sitting at home, picking apart every little thing that you do, making me nervous about maybe doing something I'm not prepared to do. Like, it's not him, it's cruel people that are out there.
It is really an amazing thing that there can be so many thousands of people that are doing this, cynical keyboard warrior crap.
Yeah.
And I would guarantee that none of them could, lace her boots.
Well, yeah, and that was one of the things she said. Like, these people have never wrestled, don't know how to wrestle, don't know what it takes, and they sit back at home and think it's their place to criticize every little thing that happens. So
Yeah, I mean, and listen,
that's us.
well, I was just going to say, while I recognize that we can be critical at times, we're critical of, storyline and choreography.
Yeah.
We're not critical of, the ability or the effort that goes into these things. It's, every one of these people that step into the ring are phenomenal athletes. And,
I think effort is the key word here. Like, we are never, ever condemning anyone for not putting in enough effort. These wrestlers put in so much to get them to where they are, regardless of whether we like what's happening in story, we like what happened in the ring. They're working hard no matter what to do what they're doing. So,
and in typical Canadian fashion, we are generally pretty apologetic when we're critical of people.
That's true. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't want to make anyone mad, you know?
We're sorry.
Yeah.
Come on our show and we'll tell you how sorry we are.
Yeah. Next, there's lots on social media and on kind of new in the news articles that are out there right now about WWE going ahead with Night of Champions while the ongoing Iran-Israel issues are happening. We did see that there was a group of WWE people that kind of went earlier in the week and they were stranded in Qatar because of closed airspace because of those issues that are ongoing. But we have.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
As a better safe than sorry mentality. However, you had talked about this earlier. This is sponsored by the Saudi government. I think it's probably safe to say that the private jets that they're all going to fly in on are going to be, okay.
Well, yeah, that's what somebody said. If they're shutting down airspace, how is anybody even going to get there? They must be canceling a show. And it was pointed out that, this is sponsored by the government. It is unlikely they're flying on commercial planes. They will be flown in likely on private planes sponsored by the government. Saudi Arabia is very rich and very powerful. I don't know that anyone is messing with them. And I think for that area of the world, and given that the Saudi government is sponsoring this, these wrestlers will be very protected where they're going. So
I would think that's pretty safe to say. All in all, it's at this point a full go.
Yeah.
Right? We've got no indication that anything is disrupting this. So
we have officials for WWE have already made it to Saudi Arabia. Things are moving ahead as planned, and they seem comfortable with that. I did see, I don't know if it was you that mentioned it or somebody mentioned. Oh, I think it was Rock and Wrestling Reviews commented on one of our posts. I think my Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan post that I posted, and said that there were reports that Dom is injured,
right,
because he doesn't feel comfortable going over to Saudi Arabia.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not confirmed. It was just a theory that they had brought up. So I don't know. There may be some people that weren't comfortable and didn't want to go, and
quite likely, yeah. But it's going to go off regardless. So.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yep.
They put on a huge show when they do the Saudi Arabia. Like, for anybody, we have some family and friends that sometimes watch us that don't necessarily watch wrestling. This would be a cool one to watch because they put a lot of money into the show in Saudi Arabia, and it's usually a big event.
The crowd will be
wild,
pretty hyped as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. Those all those overseas shows are pretty wicked. They don't get a lot of them, so the crowd really, it sort of acts as though they're trying to make WWE want to go there more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they really, really get into it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep. We're excited. Next, Fanatics Fest. We saw a lot of coverage from Fanatics Fest, and it made us wonder, why did we not go?
Yeah. Unless it's like way further away. I don't know if it's always in the same place. Is it always the same place?
I don't know, but I will go next year. I don't know if it's always in the same place. It was in New York City this year.
Yeah, which is not that far from us.
No, I think it's like a 6-7 hour drive, and we could have flown for much shorter than that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So probably safe bet we'll be there next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, looked super cool. Really neat seeing a lot of the wrestlers interacting with the movie stars. You know, Kevin Hart and Cody Rhodes had a pretty cool moment where Kevin had an entrance happening, and it was interrupted by Cody. He was mad, so he tackled Cody. Kevin Hart's son comes out dressed like a ref and gives him a 3 count.
Yeah.
It was funny and fun. You know, I imagine those kind of lighthearted moments were magical for anybody that was in close proximity to get to
and
view
probably fun for the wrestlers too, for the superstars, because they just get to be goofy and silly with their characters, not as much of the serious storylines. They just get to go out there, have fun with the fans. And
yeah, and it looked like John Cena was being really cool with a lot of different things, and you know, with the way he's been lately, it's hard to say whether he would have been cool or not. So
yeah,
looked like a lot of fun though.
Yeah. I think that we'll get into this a little bit more, but I think a lot of John Cena's appearances are moving forward with that kind of breaking the fourth wall or breaking kayfabe a little bit. Like, he's not always in character.
Yeah. And I think we'll see potentially something of a return to who John Cena is by the end of it all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who knows though?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Another thing, Alexa Bliss was there. She entered with a fan dressed as the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. This was really sweet. It was wonderful that she did it. My initial comment to you was like, that must be really hard. Like, your friend that you were close to passed away, and to see someone so accurately dressed as his character, I don't know. I just felt like my heart kind of went out for her. It's probably fun and happy, but also a little heartbreaking.
I would agree. I think it was probably a bucket of emotions for her doing something like that. But she probably also realized that for that fan, it was a moment he'd never forget.
Yeah,
so.
And they looked awesome. That fan did a great job with his costume. He looked amazing. So
pretty cool, yeah.
Lastly on the social, Cody Rhodes. So we've been watching a little bit of the What Do You Want to Talk About? His kind of podcast interview type show that he has on WWE's YouTube channel.
Yep.
We really like it. We watched one with Damian Priest that was pretty cool.
That was really good.
He interviewed KO recently, Kevin Owens, and there was some pretty funny moments. We really liked it. One of them being some comments on Braun Breaker's spray tan and wrestler spray tanning as a whole.
Yeah, Cody, you don't like a good wrestler tan? No. It's pretty funny.
He was talking about going into the bathroom, and he's like, you go into the bathroom, you got your clean shoes on. Suddenly you're walking through sticky muck all over the floor, something like that. And I was just like, oh, slippery, this is slippery, sorry. And so KO, like, so true to who you would think Kevin Owens would be. Like, what do you need a spray tan for?
Yeah. I mean, clearly KO's not a spray tanner. We did kind of want to talk about the idea that this is more of that pulling back the curtain sort of thing as well, right? So, I mean, one of the more recent feuds for KO was with Cody, and here they are, you know, palling it up on his podcast. I don't hate these things. I do think, you know, it's a super entertaining episode. But, you know, this, that new series called Unreal.
Yep.
I'm not sold on the idea of, you know, stopping the charade.
Yeah.
Basically, you know, like, no, the fan in me wants to believe it's as real as can be. Every week I want to wonder, ooh, was that part of the script, or are they actually mad at each other now? Like, are they actually fighting? How much of this is real? I always want to feel that way to add fuel to the fire, but things like this make that harder. So I don't know how I feel about it. I do think it's a great show and a good episode, and not all bad by any means. I think it's a little soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with you that I think a lot of the fun we have, like, look at this whole Liv Morgan theory I've been going on about. Like, a lot of the fun we have is like, is that real or not real? Or like Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton feud. Like, are they actually fighting? And the more they pull back the curtain, the more you lose a little bit of that. And that's a big part of the fun with WWE. So, I don't think by any means changing that dynamic will have us stop watching in any way. We're, big fans, but it does take away a magical part of it that I really like.
On the other hand, half the time Cody's fighting his friends anyways.
Yeah, that's
So
true. That's true. Who knows?
it's what happens when you're Mr. Nice Guy, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's pal. You're gonna have to fight some friends eventually.
Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all we had to talk about today.
Yeah, it's fun episode.
It was a fun
I
episode.
enjoy these PLE prediction episodes.
Yeah, they're a little more loosey goosey with the format. So
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah.
And if you dig it, you can also check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Audible. So if you just want to check us out while you're driving in your car and you can't be watching the
Exactly.
YouTube episode, that can be done.
Yep.
Also, obviously, on YouTube. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. If you haven't, on our social media accounts, we have
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X/Twitter, and we are at Poppin' Heat. That's POPNHEAT. Head over to our TikTok specifically. Give us a follow on there and look through. We have lots of videos on there. We try to put out a lot of TikTok content. Sometimes a little bit different from what you'd find on YouTube and a little bit different than our podcast. So, head over there. Like and follow us so you can keep up to date on that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll be talking to you next week when we see how many of our predictions came true.
Eek.
And how many were incorrect.
Yeah, that's more likely. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great night.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.